Happy holidays, y'all. It's giving season. If you haven't already, please subscribe to What's Been Better wherever you listen to podcasts and give us a like or a review. It'll help others find our show. This is a special bonus episode of What's Been Better. The holidays are upon us, and for some, that typically means reunions. So this week, Lori and I are gifting everyone with a few tips to deal with those loved ones, situations, and conversations we don't always align with. Remember, the goal is to protect your peace at all times. And for those who forgot, we're still on here cussing a little bit more for emphasis.
Exactly.
Yes, ma'am.
We out here in these streets cussing.
I know that's fucking right.
But
Okay.
let me tell you, I just found out though that cussing is a good thing. I just found
Yes.
out, and
Yes.
I sent it to you. I'm
I
really
appreciate you for
happy to know
sending that to me because I was like, yes, proof, absolute proof.
hmm Yeah, it's a higher intellect. You got
Yes.
for those who don't cuss, you might need to try it sometimes.
I feel like you're missing out. Just let one slip. Do something.
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah.
Well,
I'm excited, Sylvia, about this episode because I love the holiday seasons,
me
right?
too.
The holiday season is beautiful, and but this is a time when all these, the family gets together and whole lot of shit jumps off, right?
Mm-hmm.
A lot of football watching, a lot of eating, a lot of laughing, getting
Yes.
together. Some relationships are blossoming. I think
True.
during the fall season is like love season, seems
Well,
like
it's
to me.
also we're in Atlanta, so it's called cuffing season. So of course, yes, absolutely. Falling for
Hmm
somebody, finding someone, trying to hold on to someone,
Yeah,
snuggle
and
season, all of it.
it's warm. I mean,
Yes.
it's cold outside, so you want to get warm and snuggle up.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
So
So usually we talk about what's been better, right? Because it's really good to talk about what's been better as opposed to just complaining and talking about things that don't bring joy to our lives. But this particular episode, we want to talk about what we're grateful for.
yes. I
Yeah.
think it'd be a good
So
idea.
I think so. I think so. What we're thankful, what we're grateful, the blessings that have come to us. So Sylvia, what are you grateful for?
I am grateful for three things.
Okay.
Okay. I'm grateful for people, my people. My
Okay.
circle is very small, but it is
hmm
very powerful.
Okay.
And you're in my circle, Lori, in case you didn't already
Hey,
know.
I'm
Um,
aw.
I have very trusted advisors, people that I talk to, go to, um, that guide me on this path to peace and keep me
Mm-hmm.
on this path to
Mm-hmm.
peace.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm really grateful for my people.
Oh, that's so
Um,
sweet.
I'm grateful for persistence.
Okay. Elaborate.
This year had started out, as we know, very wild,
Yeah.
very wild. And I think without persistence, I'm not sure that I would be here.
Wow. Okay.
So, though it seems sometimes where I'm like, oh, I don't know, it's
Mm-hmm.
the persistence in me to keep going. And it's the persistence in my circle to keep me going.
That's so lovely.
So, yes. And then the third thing I'm grateful for is this booster shot. I just, look, I went to the movies for the
Oh,
first time this weekend.
girl, let me tell you how awesome that is that you got out. I mean, last week was good when you went to your
Homecoming. Mm-hmm.
homecoming. But
Yeah.
when you told me you went to the daggone movies, I was like, let me find out.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, so I'm grateful for that because it's also going to allow me to see my mom this week.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, Thanksgiving will be even more special. Um,
That's
I'm not
nice.
huge on like all of the history of Thanksgiving, but I am huge on like gathering and getting people
Mm-hmm.
together and being
Mm-hmm.
grateful and all of those things. And I absolutely love the holidays. So I love this all the fall holidays basically.
Right,
Um,
right.
not like the commercialization of them or like, the
Mhm.
stories that were told of them. It's just that I like being around my people.
I hear
So,
you, and I think that's beautiful, and sounds like the booster is gonna help you do that?
yes, it's
Okay.
a peace of mind thing of like, okay, you're taking this chance on this medication to see if this is gonna work,
Mhm.
and I'm obviously gonna keep my mask on as per usual. But yeah, I think it's a matter of like just easing myself back into society in a way
Listen,
that is comfortable
yeah.
for me.
Yes, and
So
that's
yeah.
all that is, like,
Mhm.
I'm so happy to hear you say that because it takes a little bit of the fear out each time,
Yep.
and everybody all of us
Mhm.
have our own level of, trepidation or fear um, being apprehensive about a thing,
Right.
right? So, kudos to you for choosing
Yeah.
you.
Yeah. So
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
but
I
yeah,
think that's awesome.
that's what I'm grateful for. What about you, Lori? What are you grateful for?
I'm grateful for life.
Yeah.
Um, when were we taping before? I think it was after that. Yeah. But I was down a couple of days, and I think the weight of the world got to me a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, I have a family member who is addicted to pain medication, and they're having a hard time with life right now. And
Wow.
so it kind of broke my heart, and I felt like it didn't kind of break my heart. Shit broke my heart was breaking. Just to know that life is hard
Mhm.
for them and some other people, right?
Yeah.
My mom was telling me about how a young man, a family friend of hers, died in a car accident, and he was 22 years old. And then I thought,
Wow.
man, that's a that's a young time to leave this earth. Like you just begun to live, right?
Mhm.
And so I just thought about how precious life is and how sometimes I can take it for granted. And I had to realize that no hour is promised, no
No.
day is promised, no week is promised, no particular year in your life is promised. Um, be grateful.
Yeah.
And I don't have to be grateful. I can complain, right?
Yes.
But I'm exercising my choice to say thank you for living another life, another day, and shit, another life. It just came up. I had another opportunity to live, and I'm
Mhm.
I'm very thankful for that. I'm thankful for family. My brother and his wife came over yesterday, and they never seen Atlanta, the show Atlanta,
Oh. Oh, okay, okay.
and they saw it in a time when how Atlanta has different episodes that don't involve them. They're just
Yes.
random. So
Mhm.
they caught a couple of random ones, and so they didn't really
Okay.
get to see the meat of Atlanta. And Atlanta's
Right.
so it's so off the wall.
Yes. Yeah, especially the last 2 seasons.
Oh my god, it's
Yes.
hilarious. So,
So, are you on the
um,
final season? Like, are you caught up?
we're on the verge of season 4. We're right
Okay.
teetering on the verge of season 4. We're right out of when they came back from Amsterdam.
Okay, okay. So,
hmm
we've just finished, like, we watched the season finale this weekend.
Oh
So
wow! So I'm looking forward to it. And so again, I'm thankful for family. I'm thankful for life. I'm thankful for family, and I'm thankful for wisdom.
ooh.
As wisdom comes, that shit ain't it's not like, oh, come wisdom. Wisdom can be
No.
hard sometimes. Wisdom can hurt. It's
Yes.
like you could cry. Wisdom is
Mhm.
is wild
Yeah.
because it's understanding things that sometimes you don't want to understand. It's accepting things you might not want to accept.
Say that shit, Lori.
Yeah.
Say
So
that shit right there because
it's
yeah, one
mm,
big deep breath. That
yes. And so there's one more thing I'm thankful for. And it's funny because I'm laughing because I'm such to me, a simple person. I'm very thankful for my trees.
look. The amount of effort that it took to get those trees and to get them planted, I'm grateful for them because holy shit, to see how many
Girl,
there are,
listen, I almost killed a deer, and I
you
told you
told
Tommy is
me.
my bodyguard. So he woke up one morning, he saw him close to the deer. He went and got his pellet gun. And he was like, "I'm about to get him," because I told you one snatched my tree out the ground
Yes.
and then broke another one in half.
Mhm.
So I got in my feelings the other day because they kept messing with me.
Well,
The-
because those
the-
are also your children. Those are, like, new kids.
and like give them a chance to live. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
So yesterday I went out and bought this liquid fence because I was about to
Okay.
buy a fence. I was about to. Tommy was like, "Babe, for real? Like
No,
I
that's
don't
what the
give a
trees
damn."
were for.
Right, that's what he said. They're supposed to be a fence, but they're delicate fences right now, and
Mhm.
enemies are trying to take over. So
Damn deer.
so those are the things that I'm very grateful and thankful for, and I don't take anything. Well, I'm learning not to take things lightly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
Thanks to wisdom. It beat my
Yeah.
ass.
Wi but wisdom will, like, kick you straight in the face, and you'll be like, "Thank you, wisdom. Kick me again
Mhm.
so that way I know, like, what to do."
Girl.
Because this again, grateful for my circle. Grateful to have the best husband ever, because this weekend
Aw.
was very challenging,
I
aside
bet.
from, like, going to the movies, going outside, stuff like that.
Mhm.
Just dealing with the outer circle
Mhm.
and being taken for granted
Oh.
and not, not being communicated with properly and just all these things. Drew stopped me in the kitchen last night and said, "You know what? You've done a hell of a job this year. The amount of
Mhm.
growth I've seen in you this year." He was like, "Because this I literally Lori, I literally went in a circle. I'm back to being ghosted again, but the way I handled it this time was completely different than how episode 1 went." Right,
Hey,
right? So it's like I'm grateful for just having him in my corner to be like, "Look, you're fine, and I don't even need to tell you that you're fine because you've already said that you're fine," which
look at
is,
that.
way different than how you would have handled it before. So
Okay.
it gave me pause to be like, "Oh shit, I am okay. I am doing the right thing. I am
Mhm.
making it. I am fine."
Yes. Yep.
And it's
And
also
and
valuing
mhm.
myself.
Right. And now my question is how? Like, like was the first time helpful in helping you this time? Do you think if you didn't have that first time,
Yeah.
how you're responding now would be worse? Like
Yeah.
detrimentally worse than it was the first time, or how? Like,
I think had I not gone through the first time and had the first time not been so rock bottom, I would not have the hard foundation that I have now to
mhm.
say, "Oh fuck no, wait a minute."
Okay.
And to know that like I think it was episode 2 when we talked about it. You said like what your non-negotiables are.
Mhm.
Like I wholly stand on like that shit is non-negotiable with me.
Right.
Like
Right.
I'm not going to deal with being ghosted or not communicated with like ever. Like I
Right. Cuz that's a
mm,
boundary. In
that's
fact,
a
that could be a
whole
house
boundary.
rule. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? That
Yeah.
might be the ghosting people could be the fuck around game.
Yeah, it really is. It really is. So it was being able to recognize that. It was also being able to reassure myself. It was also being my own fuel of like,
Mhm.
um, you're okay, you could do this. You did it before, you could do it again.
Yep.
Um, I think in all what it really was that because I knew the person, I didn't think that they would do me like that.
Mhm.
Instead
This
of
time or
realizing
the time before?
this time,
Okay.
instead of realizing like anybody could do it.
Thank you, grandmamas, auntie
Anybody.
them, cousin them, my
Mhm.
brother, aunt, like I've said auntie already, maybe auntie twice. But anybody can do it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And
No.
it has nothing to do with you. That's really what I'm trying to
Ooh,
say.
okay. Number 1 realization was realizing, like, okay, I did all the things I was supposed to do and that I
Mhm.
didn't do anything wrong and that
Mhm.
this
Yeah,
has
check
nothing
in.
to do with me.
Check in. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I
Because
really. fully
Mhm.
realized I noticed what I was noticing.
R Girl, bless you. That's what I'm talking about because when you notice what you're noticing, and these are step-by-step things, and this is for all of us, and that's why I'm so glad we have a a awesome ass family or crew that listen to us, and I
Mhm,
bet you and oh, I can't wait to talk to you guys to find out how life is better because if you're listening, I know life is better.
mhm.
But we look at these different steps. We notice what we're noticing when things start to happen in our lives. And if we don't judge it, and if we just notice it and just pick out the facts, not
Yeah.
our feelings, because our feelings are not facts, you
Mhm.
know. And the reason why they're not facts is because somebody else could be feeling something totally different.
Right.
Right. So if we notice what we're noticing and we decide not to judge, we can be in such a better position to move.
Yeah.
Right. And so here you go. Let me check off this shit.
I
But
really did.
I love it.
I
I love
really
it.
did. I really did. Yeah.
When a person is ghosting, right, they don't have the words,
No.
or some it's first you don't have the words, otherwise you say it. But there is some level of fear there.
Absolutely.
And it's
Absolutely.
you can't you can't make them. People do what they want to do.
But the key is I'm not gonna try either.
Hmm.
I would have tried before.
So that's what's different.
That's what's different.
Yeah.
But okay, we said all that. Let's get to reunions
Yeah.
because a lot of people like myself are going to be traveling and interacting with family, friends, past, present, wherever.
Hmm.
And it might not go the way that it should go if they don't have the tools and the principles and their gut and house rules in place to
Hmm.
deal with aunties, grandmas,
Right.
cousins, friends, step
Right.
parents, just anybody. So I kind of wanted to talk about like how do you protect your peace
Hmm.
but still make sure that like you're keeping people at arm's distance. You're
Hmm.
still respectful, you're still keeping your composure, but there's
Right.
also this like warning flag out to people to know like I wish a motherfucker would. How do we do
W-
both at the
Well,
same time?
okay. Well, first and foremost, some people are not on 9 or 10 ready like we are. Like they're not at a place where I wish a motherfucker would.
Yeah.
They're afraid of confrontation, right?
Yeah.
So I'm gonna put a blanket out for everybody. The first thing is set your own intention. Like you have to decide how you want your time spent with family. How do you want that time to be spent? Do you want it arguing? Do you want it agreeing to disagree? Do you Some people like to just be an adversary for some
Right.
reason. They just like to be adversarial.
Mhm.
You know who these people are. Don't act brand new.
Right.
If you know Auntie and them always picking on you, set an intention. I'm gonna avoid they asses this year. You
Mhm.
know, like because because again, you have to have your own barometer. How sensitive are you?
Yeah.
You know, how emotional are you? How joyful are you? Because some people, they're just joyful. Like I just love Darius on Atlanta. Oh my God.
Mhm.
I just love his whole spirit.
Yes.
Some people are like that. And they don't give two shits, period, going in any place they go. They're already good because they don't allow people to affect them. But
Yeah.
for those who are sensitive, you have to have your own barometer and check in with yourself and set an intention. How do you want your experience to go? And be wise. Again,
Yes.
like if you know a auntie or uncle likes to joke on you, go and hang out with your cousins or
Right.
somebody else. So
Right.
it's setting an intention for how you want certain things to go, and then use your own agreements. We talk a lot about the four agreements and then your house rules and different things like
Mhm.
that. Get yourself some rules for
Yeah.
how you want to be. It could be visit family rules.
I mean,
it,
it
you know,
honestly could be. Yeah,
yeah,
it
yeah,
really could be.
right. And so set yourself an intention, set up some boundaries for yourself for how you want to deal with family. And like if you're going with your mate, or if you're going with your children, or if it's a family that's going, you might everybody, because it could be everybody, like from the husband all the way down to the children. Y'all
Mhm.
get together, and if one of you all are in a place where you're having a bad time, y'all could call it and say, we're leaving for the evening.
Right. Just put a damn timer on it. Like,
Mhm.
look, if all of us agree, then we're going. If okay, we're only going in here for 2 hours. We
Mhm.
just gotta survive these 2 hours. We just gotta last these 2 hours. I think for me, when you say set an intention, I have always said, and Drew has always said, we're either gonna have a good time or we're gonna have a story. But if we get both, it's a bonus.
Right, I love it. That's what I'm talking about. That's another one.
Mhm.
Your good time or story. And again, deciding, right? I'm not gonna take anything personally. I think that would be a good one. If
Yeah.
nothing else, try your best not to take things personally, because when I think about going to a place for family events,
Mhm.
say you hadn't been around your auntie in about a year, or your grandmother or your mom or whomever. You didn't just you didn't just pick them back up where you left off, but it seems that way. A
Mhm.
whole year has gone by. Life has happened. Life has happened for you. Life has happened for them. So when you walk back in, just because you hadn't seen them in a year, doesn't mean like you just saw them yesterday.
Right.
So it could, you can imagine that, life is different. So maybe we don't make assumptions about how we're imagining how they should be.
Yeah. I think also is something that I think is extremely important is to just go in and say without judgment,
Nice.
especially on yourself. If you are going to this reunion and you are not in a position that you think or feel is success, realize that you don't have to judge yourself for this moment that you are standing in
Yeah.
right now because
Right.
it could
Right.
change tomorrow.
Mhm.
You could
Mhm.
meet family that you never met who could
Mhm.
help you, who could change something for you, who could say or do something, and everything will be different for you.
Mhm. That's beautiful.
So I think, yeah,
That's beautiful.
without
Yeah.
judgment on this, definitely without judgment on
Mhm.
yourself, because you said it a long time ago, Lori. If somebody is doing all that nitpicking and has something to say and all these things and you take it personally, it's because part of you agrees with that thing.
Mhm.
And if
Mhm.
you just go in like, "Look, this is where I am. This isn't where I'm trying to be," then it's fine. Then
Mhm.
it's fine as
Mhm.
long as you accept you.
Exactly. And I would even go a step further and say maybe you don't agree with that thing, right?
Mhm.
Maybe you just your feelings are hurt that they might feel that way about you.
Ooh,
If
yeah.
you can learn that it only truly matters what you think, and if you're okay with yourself, if they're thinking that about you, they're thinking that about them. Now, that is something I know for absolute sure.
Yeah.
You might not necessarily agree that they call you fat ass or whatever, or skinny mini,
Mhm.
or what, because we got the names. If you don't feel that way, the fact that they're joking, there is some level of insecurity on their part. Now, people
Yes.
can argue with it all day, but the very fact that somebody teases somebody else, there's something unlovely about that person that they do that.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
if we go in with that knowledge, I'm saying whenever you go into a place or even have an event for you, because some people are having events, just remember
Mhm.
your own ground rules. Because we don't live with these people every day. They have things
Right.
that are going on in their lives.
Mhm. Mhm.
So just try, if you could, shake that shit off, because they
Yeah.
don't live with you. You don't owe
Right.
them shit. They don't owe you shit. Like, let's just have a good old time.
Yeah. Enjoy
You
the
know?
food, enjoy the people, enjoy the atmosphere as much as you can. But I also think super important rule, know when to leave the party.
That. I'ma even go for I'm glad you said that. No, set an intention
Mhm.
before you even walk into that bitch. Don't
Mhm.
don't stay if you know that staying over there is going to really upset your peace,
Yeah.
because you called it early on, Sylvia. Protect your peace. This is your
Yeah.
peace. This is not anybody else's. This is your peace. I'm going to say another thing. You don't even have to go.
Okay, I was just going to ask, w is there an avenue where you don't even show up?
Right. Listen. Uh what was the episode, not the episode, the movie with Whoopi Goldberg and Oprah.
The
Damn
color
it. It's
purple.
yes, girl. How did that slip me? When Whoopi's and that guy said, we have colds. We got colds or something. They said
Mhm.
like, listen, we 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 both under.
Right.
And I'm not saying lie by any means. You don't have to misrepresent yourself,
Mhm.
but if you don't have the energy for it this year, own
Yeah.
it. We've
Yeah.
decided not to come. But why? We've decided not to come. But why? We've just decided not to come. Like, I don't want to go into it. You don't have to go into your rationale, your reasons. This is a good time to exercise your right to give zero fucks.
And to have boundaries. 'Cause
Exactly.
fuck out of here with explaining. And no is a whole sentence.
It is with a period and all of that.
All of that. All all of that.
Oh my
No
God.
goes. Like, just deal with the no's.
Yes,
Yeah.
absolutely. Like, it could be a whole host of reasons. It might be a financial situation, and you might be embarrassed to talk about your finances. That's okay. Don't talk about them
Mhm.
with your full chest. We decided we have other plans. We have other engagements. We
Mhm.
have prior engagements, and their feelings can be hurt. That's not your responsibility to protect these people's feelings.
Right.
This is a whole exercise. If you don't go for whatever reason, allow these people to be okay with the fact that you said no.
I got it. I like that. Yeah. I think that's it. Set an intention, know when to leave the party, and you don't have
Mhm.
to go if you don't wanna go.
You don't, and have your ground rules for you. And make it
Mhm.
light if you can. It's maybe that could be a part of your intention. I'm going to make this light. I'm going to have a good time. I
Yeah.
want to enjoy my family members. They're not like me. I'm not like them. I don't have to make them like me. You know, I'm just here to show my face, whatever your reason is.
Mhm. I think, yeah, if you spend all your time trying to convince them to like you, or to convince
Child.
them to agree with you, or to convince them, you're gonna have people that are gonna argue about politics this
Mhm.
because we just
Mhm.
had an election and now we have a
Yep.
runoff. So it's gonna be
Yep.
all that. Not everybody has the same beliefs, and they literally don't have to because we're in a democracy.
Yep.
But if you're wasting, it's a terrible person to quote. I think it's Ronald Reagan. It's like, if you're explaining, you're losing.
Oh,
Fuck are you
wow.
explaining for? Don't explain shit
That's
to anybody.
I like it. I like it. If you're
Yeah.
explaining, you're losing. That's
Yeah.
Listen. That's beautiful.
Mhm. It's from a
Yeah.
horrible person, but I mean, yeah, that's not the point. But but
Well, listen, the clock can be right, what is it, twice a day?
yes, you're right. You are
And
absolutely right.
yeah, two
So,
things can
yeah.
be true. He could be an awful person and say something that's kind of powerful.
Yeah, no.
And he could have
Don't
got it from somewhere else. So, there's that.
don't waste time trying. This is true. Don't waste time trying to explain anything to anyone or convince anybody of anything at the dinner table with the turkey. Like, that's what Twitter's
Mm-mm.
for.
Mm-hmm.
Argue with people on social media. Don't sit around and argue with your family. Like,
No,
you
no.
you might not have but 20 more minutes with these people. Don't do that.
And since life is so precious, right? We don't know if
Mhm.
we're going to see him next year. You know,
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what
yeah.
I'm saying. Okay, so here's my bonus advice.
Okay.
If family is not an option, I really absolutely have fond memories of having a friendsgiving instead.
Okay.
And I say that I have such good fond memories of it is because your friends are your chosen family if they
Mhm.
are that close.
Mhm.
So breaking bread with somebody like that, it would be better anyway because these people are who you want to be around.
Mhm.
These people are who you choose. These people are you would hope if they're in this close proximity to you, they are who you trust. They
Right.
are who you truly love. These are your um trusted advisors. These are whoever, that you are
Mhm.
choosing and you can
Mhm.
make a choice to have them at your dinner table.
Yes,
So,
absolutely.
I'm all
And
for
I think
Friendsgiving.
I like friends. I like that name.
Mhm.
I like how we spin shit. Like we just recreate shit. I love that.
Yes. Yeah.
Friendsgiving.
Mhm.
Just giving without the thanks. How you
Yeah.
gonna have thanks without the giving? I don't know. But I I like how they took it back from how it was and they
Mhm.
made it something beautiful, you
Yeah.
know. Because that's really the thing. Like, how can we actually spin this again and get something good from it?
Right.
I think we're our culture is really good for that anyway.
Well,
We
sometimes, yeah.
we're well, shit. They made oxtails, they made chitlins out of like
I'm gonna
I
give
don't
you
know.
this. Yes, we are some inventive people who will make something out of nothing, who will make a way out of no way. So yeah, I'll give you that. Yeah, we are.
And it's a baffling to me, but I think it's about how we are still deciding to live, you know,
Yes.
and thrive. So which goes back to if you if you know family engagements or interacting with family brings up some trauma for you or anxiety, you
Mhm.
can exercise your own choice to stay away. You don't
Absolutely.
have to engage with the family pedophile even. You know how they got uncle and them
Say that,
always,
Lori.
touching people and nobody said anything. Come on now. No, it's time out for that. If you've been
Mhm.
molested and that family member is still accepted, you don't have to accept that motherfucker or
Mhm.
that motherfuckette. You don't have to accept either one of them.
Right.
Truly, you don't. You have a choice to live the kind of life you want to live, and it starts today.
Mhm.
You don't owe
Mhm.
nobody no damn explanation or an apology.
No.
Now I said that shit.
All right. Well,
You
I
can blame it on
I
me.
We're not blaming. We're not blaming. We are taking this advice and we are using it to our advantage. That's what we
Right,
are doing.
right.
Um, and I appreciate you for constantly being a guide to so many of us. And I hope that everybody is safe and I
Mhm,
hope that everybody goes and has a good time or they have a
mhm.
story
Yes, or both.
or both.
We love you all.
Yes. Thanks for listening.
That's it for this week's show. I'm Lori Scott.
And I'm Sylvia Johnson, and you've been listening to What's Been Better.
A big thank you to Lagan Music Inc. for providing our music. This show is edited and produced by us with a little help from our family and friends. We love you all.
We want to hear what's been better for you. To be a guest on the show, send us an email to questions@whatsbeenbetter.com. Or you can find us on Instagram and TikTok at What's Been Better Podcast.
Thanks for listening.